I don't know. I'm kind of sore. I didn't want to tell Coach because Coach probably would have said something to me about flipping next time. I don't know. I'll probably do it again, though. It was pretty cool.
That's Lamar Jackson. He was talking about his hip. He banged his hip on the ground after he flipped into the end zone. Wasn't at practice on Thursday, and it caused many to think, well, maybe that hip really was sore and had gotten more sore and was becoming a problem. As it turns out, Lamar Jackson missed practice yesterday due to some sort of an illness, as our friend Mike Garafolo of NFL Media observed on Twitter. Okay, this time it was what you thought it was last time, a reference to Lamar Jackson's notorious mid-game sprint to the bathroom when we thought it was something other than cramps. So yesterday it was finally what we thought it was last season. And looks like Lamar Jackson will be good to go for the next game, which is a trip to Detroit to take on the Lions. He's expected to play. With or without Lamar Jackson, I think the Lions are going to have a hard time with the Ravens. Peter, make any argument for me based on what you've seen from the Lions so far that would cause us to believe that if, as expected, Lamar Jackson plays, the Lions would have a chance to beat Baltimore.
I can't see it, Mike. And, to me, the worrisome thing is that along the way, as Dan Campbell is trying to build this team, and as he has his community behind him, the worrisome thing to me is, what happens when you have casualties? When you have casualties who are kind of team leaders, when some people, Jamie Collins in this case, have clearly said, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And we don't know the full story about it, Mike, but it seems pretty clear that Jamie Collins wants out or he's not going to play for the Lions. So to me, I kind of look at this right now, and it's a fine balance. It's a little bit of a high wire act that Dan Campbell is walking right now, along with a defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn, that everything that I've heard out of Detroit is that the players love Aaron Glenn. So is he going to be able to build a team, to build a defense, to try to resuscitate the career of Jared Goff? Is he going to be able to do all that and keep his team together in time for them? Because it's going to take a couple of years to turn this Titanic around. You just can't turn it around like a speedboat. And so are you going to be able to do that? And right now, his message to his team cannot just be, we have to do everything humanly possible to try to win this game. He's got to try to build this continuum, Mike, and he's got to try to make sure that he has players on board with doing it.
By the way, Jared Goff still looking for his first career win with a head coach other than Sean McVay. He is 0-9 after starting this season 0-2 under Dan Campbell. The Ravens, and this is the bad news for the Lions this week, and this is something Sims and I talked about yesterday. In 2019, the signature moment for the Ravens, who became the Ravens, was the go for it on fourth down against Seattle that propelled that victory. Before that, the Ravens, they'd lost a couple games in a row. They beat the Steelers in overtime. They beat the Bengals by 6. They weren't a juggernaut. After that game, 37-20 over the Patriots, 49-13 over the Bengals, 41-7 over the Texans, 45-6 over the Rams, who had just been to the Super Bowl. That moment, that kick from and the post-game speech in the locker room from John Harbaugh was just unbelievable stuff. The Ravens have shown us they can take a moment like that and just put the thing into overdrive. And that's what I'm concerned about, Peter, on Sunday for the Lions. They're going to be the first victim of this 2021 version of the Ravens having their arrival and then kicking the crap out of everybody that gets in their way.
Yeah, I think the one difference this year, Mike, is that I don't think that they have the sort of dominating defense and look, this defense can beat down the Detroit Lions, but I don't think they're going to be able to stop everything in their wake. I think that's one thing. And then the second thing is, listen, you don't want to keep talking about injuries, but is this Ronnie Stanley injury going to be something that plagues him through the course of the season? And again, you're not going to play 15 more games without getting more injuries. So how many guys are you going to be able to lose? Look, there is no team, and I told the story in my column on Monday about Eric DaCosta drafting Odafe Owe, and how a lot of people in the league really didn't want Owe because, I mean, the guy's a pass rusher. In his last year at Penn State, he had 0 sacks. Who takes a guy in the first round, no matter how good you think he is, who's a pass rusher with 0 sacks on his resume? But DaCosta loved him. He had faith in him, and that faith was borne out when he batted the ball away from Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So I really, really like the depth that personnel staff has built up on the Ravens. You just wonder, the depth is one thing. Cutting down below the quick of your fingernail, that is yet another thing.
And the ever-present possibility, and I don't want to be accused of jinxing anyone, but if you're a Ravens fan, you have to be worried about Lamar Jackson. He seems indestructible. Cam Newton seemed indestructible, too, until we learned that he's not indestructible. And there's only so many of those hits, and we see it every week. He gets pretzeled around, and he always pops up. But it's just a matter of time if they don't come up with a way to get him to develop, and they're trying to do it. More as a passer. Greg Roman's got that obligation this year, but when it's crunch time, like the kid playing Madden, you default to those 2 or 3 plays that work, and for the Ravens, it's Lamar Jackson with the ball in his hands making magic happen.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.